Guys, Beast, back with some more beastly content. Today we're going to be doing a video over my high efficiency in-game base. So this base is going to be giving you tons of acid. This base is going to be giving you tons of purified water. It's going to have a full max facility crop growing area with a great purification system that doesn't eat up all your purified water, so you're still able to make other things that you need your purified water for. As well as keeping the brewing barrels filled for our contaminated berries farm here. But all of that today, let's get on into. I'm going to show you the use case of every single facility I have here. And this is like one of the most irritating things to me, is the fact that you go to place down your vehicle, you click place, and then you stand there and it never places. I was going to go ahead and empty out my car's trunk here because it's been full of purified water forever, and every single time I go mining I open it up to a purified water set and I'm like, well, great, I have over encumbrance no matter what. But since it never did actually load here, we're just going to go ahead and get on into the base now. Once again, this is just like my one complaint on this game is like server lag and latency and things like that. It's not bad, but sometimes you go to place your vehicle, it doesn't want to spawn at all. And now you can't place it all, so we gotta click this little get unstuck button. Boom. Okay, so let's go ahead and get on into the base now. Open the door here. As you can see here, I have 3 grow shrooms. They're just for harvesting. I manually plant with yield boost most of the time. Sometimes it's not yield boosted. It's just fertilizer, honestly, just because I don't feel like farming up the mushrooms, or I didn't do the mushrooms right. I don't feel like farming growth boost, even though it's just cutting apple trees down forever. But as you can see here, here's the water pump setup. There's like 7, 8, or 9 of these. We are in a polluted area, so we're pumping up the polluted or the impure acid as well as the purified water, and it's all going into that storage container there. I get a good 1,000 or 2 of the impure acid every single time I collect from that water storage container there, so this is definitely working out to be a pretty decent impure acid farm. I keep my barrel, one slot on every single one of my barrels filled with impure acid. It allows me to only need 3 stacks of contaminated berries per brewing barrel, allowing me to get so much acid. Literally every single time I go to harvest and log on for the day, it's like 80 acid per barrel. Super duper easy, and then a ton of the berries and the impure acid left to go. And then I have a ton of purified water in which I will be feeding into my hydration system for my crop farms. And we will be seeing that soon enough here. And the reason why I do manual fill on my hydration systems is that when you run it always running, the water pumps tend to run dry and you tend to run out of purified water. You can't have any purified water for anything else. So I find it best just to manually hydrate your crop farms when you go and plant your farms, and then every single time you log in, you go check the storage container, you pull your purified water out, you move it over to the crop farm. Now, I was using this setup back when I had like lower water pumps, so I'm curious on maybe with all these water pumps if I could go ahead and just constantly have that running and still have purified water and impure acid on backup. My only problem with that is I think I'd end up with impure acid in the water storage containers at the top level of the irrigation setup, so I wouldn't actually be able to even collect that impure acid or anything, and I shouldn't go into the irrigators or anything. I don't think it'll work. I think only water does, but it would be wasted and sitting up there and be an inaccessible item, which would really suck. So that's why I do the manual harvest there. We place our acid into our super refineries, being that one of our pneumatics is like a higher output. So 10 acid is 5 mixed fuel every 30 minutes. So if I put 200 of these bad babies in there, I got 10 hours worth of refining going on here. And it's like 20 times 5, so it's 100 times 3, so it's about 300 mixed fuel every 10 hours from that, just from those 3. I have ran 4 before. Here is the fertilizer setup. I literally just go farm shellfish rocks on the beaches. As a matter of fact, the beach, I think in this video, no, I don't think, yeah, I think maybe this video on this very beach that I'm on, this polluted beach, is at the very top of Blackfell. It has shellfish rocks on the beaches, actually, so I can farm my fertilizer, I can farm my stardust source ores here, I can farm my tungsten even here, I can farm aluminum, whatever I need I can farm right outside of my base, literally just running up and down these beaches. I get tons of stardust ore, everything I need. Now that being said, for tungsten I usually go to Blackfell and then just walk my way outside of the city into the desert areas and harvest tungsten there for the best results. But as I said previously, I also have the red plasma like blueprint pneumatic, so I'm able to actually make red plasma rounds. And with this acid setup here, I'm able to get tons of mixed fuel, allowing me to make a ton of the stardust source. I just do the workshops, and I have like 900 of the barreled fuel sitting for this. So all I really need to do is go farm tungsten and also get the mixed fuel farming up. So I need to get more acid in there. Maybe I should go do a couple workshops. That usually can help up with the acid. If you go do workshops, you can get a few hundred acid and throw them into the refineries. But that's why I have the passive acid farms that I do have. And here's my mematics, as you can see here. All of these, even sulfur chemist. I can even make acid in the chemist station just using sulfur and energy links. Now recently I have introduced 2 mining stations into my base, and they're mining sulfur, and once again just sulfur and energy links, and I'm able to make a 99 stack of acid. It takes 8 hours to make it, but I can have that passively making on top as another source of passive acid. So we have impure acid as passive acid, we have the contaminated berries max facility as passive acid, and then we can literally go over here and spin some energy links and get 99 passive acid twice, super duper easily. I mean, isn't this crazy? Also, another thing to know on is if you're in a warband, in the warband shop for stardust source, you're able to purchase, get this, acid. It's just crazy the amount of ways I can get acid on here. I can have 4 or 5 different ways of getting acid on here going super duper quickly. Even when I make the stardust source, I could literally be converting that straight back into acid if I wanted through the warband shop. There's no limit on purchases in the warband shop for that. I know this is a video showing my end game efficiency base for getting all the biomass missiles you need, being able to grow any crops you need to make any sort of items you need. Like I have crumbly bread and the stargazy soup right now, or whatever it is. It's stargazy pie or soup or something like that. Regardless, it increases your crit rate. It makes my PowerSurge builds do so much damage. I also have the deviated bone in sausage, and that gives you like 25%. I don't remember the exact percentage, but it's a percentage boost of damage against bosses. So there's all sorts of these items that you're going to be needing to make that you can only get, like canned seafood, for instance. I grow morels in here sometimes, and I have a ton of canned seafood in a storage container, almost a full 64 stack storage container full of canned seafood because of this farm. I mean, I can get hundreds and hundreds of any crop I want just by placing a full thing down in here. I can do partials. Most crops use the same lighting besides contaminated plants and like 4 other ones. So most things I can just run all sorts of different crops in this facility. I've ran wheat, beets, pumpkin, and all sorts of other plants all in one before, and all of them came out with like 100 each. And I think I was using yield boost on everything, but still, definitely a great facility. This thing only uses 20 watts. I have a full video of building this facility here for the grow facility itself. Link down below if you do want to know how to build one of your own. They are super duper easy to build. Super small and compact. Doesn't take up too much size for the amount of plants that you're getting back out of it. And here is the water system. So all of the water pumps are running into these 2 water storage containers. Now these 2 water storage containers are connected to all 3 of the osmosis filters. Both of them. So the osmosis filters should be constantly filled, and we have 2 storage containers worth, and these are only 32 stack ones. We didn't get the pneumatic for increased water tank storage sizes or anything, but 2 32 stack water storage containers as a buffer, holding dirty water that's excess to be put into the osmosis filters that we currently have. We're currently running 3. We may introduce 4, but the output chest is starting to fill a little too quickly. I came and logged in on earlier, and it was 32 out of 32 on that, so I added a second water storage. We're going to see if both of those get 32 out of 32, and if they do, we're going to have to add a 3rd water storage. But needless to say, we have plenty of purified water now. It might be starting to be time to set up full automated irrigation at this point, because we're getting metric load of water here, guys. It's absolutely insane. And then up here, this is the top floor where I do my damage testing. And for those of you saying you need to worry about status damage for these different guns, well, even this gun does fine, and this was before like I buffed the build all the way, but see, it got a 30k DPS there. And the other thing about the test dummies is that it's not real-time battle, and some effects don't trigger when you're attacking the test dummies that would trigger, such as kills, that would trigger during battle. So you're not actually getting your full DPS tested out of these dummies when some of your perks require you to kill an enemy to get a percentage boost. It's a substantial boost. Your DPS is probably a lot higher than on the Destiny. Like, I get like 8,000 damage per second on a crit sometimes on both of my guns. Let me tell you, crit's very much fun on status damage, and it's not a bad idea at all on burn as well, because just inflicting burn can give you a 40% crit boost on one of the crit mods for burn. Speaking of burn, we have a 5-star cam crank we want to be showing y'all in just a bit. I do know this is a free-to-play gun from a mystical chest, but still, aside from that though, I like the look of this base. This is I'm going to call it a premium to play account, because I just bought the battle passes. That's the only cosmetic items that I have that you won't that I purchased. Everything else was either farm for or anything, but it's pretty much a free to play base. I didn't buy the glass pack or anything. All I did was buy battle passes, and I wasn't buying those for the base. They just gave extra items for the base that I happen to also really enjoy. So yeah, battle pass, I definitely think it's worth it. I'm really don't think I'm ever going to pay for the glass pack. I might one day, just because I keep seeing people's glass bases and I'm like, I like it, but I think you're using way too much glass, man. As you can see here, here's the manual feeding of the irrigation system. Once again, I just like the manual feed more because it gives me a choice of when my crops get irrigated and when the irrigators are running, and they're not just running when everything's already fully grown or something like that. Also, you know, it just allows me to have control over having purified water, and due to the fact that we're getting impure acid, I don't want my storage water containers up top to slowly fill up with impure acid and one day stop working like a calcium deposit. But I am out, see you, keep it beast mode.